So we have another question over there.
We're going to take it on that side.
Hi, thank you. I have a question. I work in the world with a number of government agencies that have what I would define, rather than big data, complex data, they have multi-gigabyte, that's not big at all, databases that are highly interrelated, but only if you can stitch them together. And I haven't heard much discussion at all about data exchange standards, so I'm just curious, you know, how much attention does this world pay to representation of data in ways that it would make it easier for you to process it because there's some level of adherence to a standard like RDF or, you know, other standards published by W3, or are you guys just like, you don't really care, what you're focused on is fast?
Well, okay, so I'll let somebody go after me, but so that so Spark is an engine, right? So Spark did not come out to solve all those things. So what's going to have to happen is going to have to be innovation on top of that. So like one client I'm working with really likes, we have this navigator thing that allows you to do lineage or whatever, right? But the reason why it allows you to do lineage is because if you use SQL or use Pig, they have types. And you can link types, and types go all the way to the end. Spark is raw data being processed any way you want to process it to go over there. So you would it would probably be done through
ETL.
Yeah, some kind of tool above it, an abstraction above it, that would take care of that metadata analysis for you. But Spark in itself, just consider it like MapReduce itself. It's just an engine. It's bleeding into other areas because there's so much activity. But in its core, it's just an engine.
I would say one thing I would add to that. What you're talking about is data interchange formats and the relative attention that particular topic gets played inside of the Hadoop community. I would say that probably it differs per client, but I would say on the whole, not a terrible amount, unfortunately. And I think that's to our detriment. I think
What isn't terrible?
I think that it's not. We aren't paying quite enough attention to data to having a set of standardized formats. We pay a lot of attention to sort of technical formats, but not necessarily having broad support. You know, as a data scientist, there are formats that I would like to see better support for scientific data, right? But you know, it will come with maturity.
It'll get there.
I mean, I have clients that if it's a need and you want it, that's how this stuff happens, right? I mean,
We have a question. I'm trying to take turns
Well,
on the room.
I'm just going to say as a follow-up, I encourage the companies that each of you represent and others that may be in the room to participate or consider participating in some working group with some international standards body, because it's going so fast and there's so much at risk, and the fact that there is actually poor participation, frankly, around data exchange standards, which are so foundational to this stuff. And governments really need, I mean, we spend as taxpayers billions of dollars for information to be collected from satellites. And the fact that they have such poor guidance on this, and because there's a lot of money and a lot of hype around Hadoop and MapReduce and all this stuff, the kind of fundamental building bricks of how we collect and represent and publish data is sort of missing from the story.
so we all have solutions to that. You know, I'll be a salesman. In MapR, you can make fun of me. Look at the Navigator. The Navigator, I think, from our offering, is the best thing for that right now. But as a community as a whole, you're right. It's a bunch of PhDs that are engineers that are thinking about how to make things faster.
Go ahead.